my career at Howard has been one that is, to tell you the truth, is something that it's hard to explain to someone who was not a part of it. What it was like to go to an institution that did not have the resources that most of the major schools had, and to be given responsibilities to build something from scratch and shape it and form it in such a way that it can be competitive any place. So I stayed in Howard 45 years. I went there to stay 5 years because I said if I went there, I would never work in another institution more than 5 years, because the reason for that is that when I was at NIH, I would have people that come to my lab, and I would train them. They would stay 3 years and leave, and every time they left, they got a job, in industry. They got big jobs and everything. So I decided I would stay at Howard 5 years. Well, 5 years came, and I was still there. Then pretty soon, 10 years was a part of it, and then 20 years, and before I knew it, my whole career. I became a consultant for the Human Research Protection Program down in for the government. They would send me off on site visits to visit places, and I would evaluate them. We went to went to Chicago to review their research program, and there's certain things you had to do to be in compliance with the regulations, and we shut that institution down. And the lady who was the associate provost had asthma. That woman had an asthmatic attack when we read the results of what the problems were there. So I became. Whenever they wanted somebody to go on a site visit someplace, they would call me, and I would go. We went to Los Angeles to review the Charles Drew University's IRB, and we met before we went to them to talk to them, and we decided that they were going to be shut down. So I told Dave Carone, the guy from the Office of Human Research Protection, that if we shut down Drew, can you imagine having Jesse Jackson, Maxine Waters, and all these people standing on the steps in Sacramento about how the federal government has shut down one of the three medical schools in this country because of non-compliance, and it was shut down by this black guy, Warren Ashe, and this black woman, Mary Secundi from Tuskegee, as a part of the state visit team. So I asked him, I said, tell you what we'll do. Isn't our job really to make sure there is a protection of human participants, not so much to just shut things down and say, if there's some other way we can do this without shutting them down? They said, well, yeah, it is. I said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we give them 2 letters and let them decide what they wanted to do? So what we did, they said, we'll do it if you call Dave Satcher back in Washington and let him know that we were doing it. So I said, okay. So I got up that morning real early, called Washington, and luckily enough, that day, Dave was in his office when I called him. And I said, well, Dave, I tell you, we're out here at Drew doing a site visit of the IRB, and there is a threat to shut down Drew. And I want to inform you that that's what's going to happen, so you won't be blindsided by any newspaper reports. And he said, okay, Warren, I'm informed. And he hung up. So we went to Drew and met with the administration and gave them these two letters. One was to shut them down One was them to agree to voluntarily suspend IRB operations until they have a review, a thorough review of their program to bring it back in compliance. They chose to select the latter. After I left, they told me that I had saved the university, because if we had shut them down, even their work, their clinical work, would have to also shut down, because the hospital depended upon the IRB to make it sure it was in compliance with the federal regulations.